All right.
So when she tendered her resignation, I had no alternative but to accept it.
I can't imagine Wentworth without Vera. She's almost a part of the place.
Yes, she is. You know, at times she has annoyed me beyond endurance. But on the whole, she's done her job well. You know, if there has been a problem with her drinking before this, I've never noticed it.
Well, I didn't notice anything until recently. And then I didn't think it had become enough of a problem to interfere with her work. Oh, I don't know. I feel a bit guilty about it.
Why on earth should you feel guilty?
Well, I've been so tied up in my own little world, I didn't notice that Vera needed help.
Well, outside our work involvement, I've really never known very much about her.
Well, you knew about her mother, didn't you?
Only that she was an invalid.
Oh, she was sick, all right, both physically and mentally. She made Vera's life hell for her. Vera was completely ruled by her mother, and by the time she died, Vera was... Well, you know what she's like now.
Oh, no. I didn't realize.
By the time Vera was free, well, she wasn't young anymore. She was totally alone and she didn't have a friend in the world. And what was even worse is that she didn't know how to make friends. She'd never been taught.
You say that she's only started drinking recently.
Well, as far as I know. But something must have happened to trigger it off.
Well, I wonder what it could have been.
I don't know. I do know that Vera is about one of the loneliest people I've ever met. You know, she was so eager to help me when I got out of hospital that it almost became embarrassing. Look, I know what she did is pretty unforgivable. But isn't there anything we can do?
Well, I could go around to see her. I don't know what good it will do, but it might salvage something out of this mess.
I hope so.
Excuse me. Erica Davidson? What? How did that happen? Well, let me know as soon as you hear anything, please. Goodbye. Would you bring Chrissy Latham here? Her daughter's been kidnapped.
I don't see what difference it makes, Jude, whether people think you're on with Trace or not.
Look, it makes no difference to me, but it matters a lot to Tracy.
Well, it's nobody else's business anyway.
B, for crying out loud, I've just told you there's nothing between us. Now, why would I lie to you?
Well, don't get yourself in a twist. If you're not, you're not. And I can't see what all the fuss is about.
Can't you understand? Tracy is straight. She can't cope with anything else. And she's a nice kid. I don't want her hurt.
I still think you're worrying too much. I mean, there's bound to be a certain amount of flack about anyone you share a cell with.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I might even have to ask to be put in a cell by myself.
You sure you feel up to working?
Honest, Mrs. Jackson, I think it's better. I just don't want to be on my own.
God, Chrissy, what's up, love?
Oh, perhaps you ought to go back to your cell and lie down.
What's the matter, Chrissy? Elizabeth really sick? Mrs. Jackson?
Elizabeth's been taken from the hospital.
What do you mean taken? Who took her?
She's been kidnapped. That's what she means.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Jackson. We'll take care of her.
Oh, don't worry, love. The cops will find her. They're very good at that. That's why all of us are still in here.
You know, I don't know very much about children, but that baby seems awfully hot to me. She's not sick, is she?
She's just had a bit of a cold, that's all.
Have you taken her to the doctor?
No, not yet.
Well, I think you'd better. I don't want to interfere, but she seems awfully flushed.
Yeah, well, babies often get like that. I'll take her later on, OK? But first of all, I've got to tell them why I'm missing from work. So will you look after her for an hour for me?
Sure.
Thanks.
What's the matter? You look as if you've seen a ghost.
Yeah, almost. Cops have pulled up outside my place.
Where are you supposed to want?
Oh, there's probably been a robbery in the area or something, and they always hit the ex-crims first. I better go and talk to them.
Oh, do you want me to come with you?
Oh, no. I can manage on my own. Probably just want to ask me a few questions, you know. Hello. Are you looking for me?
Are you Doreen Burns?
Yeah. What's the trouble?
We just come from Wentworth General Hospital. We understand you disappeared this afternoon. You mind telling us where you've been?
Oh, of course not. I felt a bit crook, so I left work early. I've just been over to my neighbour's place to get an aspirate.
Do you know the Latham baby's disappeared?
Disappeared? Oh, Oh, gee, that's terrible. Do you know how it happened?
Yeah, well, we're asking questions of anyone who had a chance to take the baby without being noticed.
Well, I didn't see anything suspicious because I would have told somebody right away if I thought anything funny was going on. Oh, I get it. You reckon I had something to do with it just because I've been inside?
Yeah, well, that thought did occur to us.
Well, just because I've been inside doesn't mean that I would do something like that. I mean, that's kidnapping. Anyway, what on earth would I do with a baby? You don't believe me, do you? Well, look, come in and have a look around. I got nothing to hide. I mean, that's awful.
After you, Mrs. Burns.
Who is it?
Vera, it's Erica Davidson. I'd like to talk to you.
Coming. Oh, come in, Mrs. Davidson.
I hope I haven't come at an inconvenient time.
Oh, no, I was just having a rest.
Well, I won't keep you long. I just wanted to let you know that I hadn't passed your resignation on to the department. You've always done your job well in the past, and I thought you should have a chance to rethink the situation.
You mean you don't want me to But I thought... Oh, thank you, Mrs. Davidson, but I don't know whether I'd be able to handle the women again after this, let alone face the rest of the staff.
I'm sure you could handle the women. And as for the staff, well, I think if you give them a chance, you'll find they're all very understanding. Surely you don't want to leave Wentworth after all this time.
No, I don't.
I know you've had your personal problems.
What do you know about my personal life?
Well, I had a chat with Meg Jackson.
I should have known she couldn't keep a confidence.
Vera, she only told me things she thought I ought to know. Not to gossip, but to help you. There's nothing shameful about being lonely. We all go through that at some time or other.
Well, she shouldn't have said anything. It was confidential. Anyway, I'm not lonely. I've got friends. I just don't show them off like other people, that's all. And besides, I do have other interests.
I know that sometimes a drink or two seems to help, but it's not the answer, you know. It usually makes things much worse.
I don't know what that has to do with me. I only have a social drink now and then.
Vera, that incident at Wentworth...
It was a mistake, don't you see? I wasn't rostered. I wasn't meant to be working. But when I found I was needed, I wanted to help out. Well, that's what Wentworth means to me. It's my whole life.
You know, sometimes I think we're all mad. We go into that place every day. We complain about it. It makes demands of us no other job would make, and yet we all love it. I doubt whether any of us could leave. How could we trust it with anyone else? So please, think very deeply about it before you make your final decision.
Hello, Sarah.
Don't you think you should call me Jackie? That is my real name. Don't look so unhappy. I'm all right, you know.
The surroundings don't suit you.
Well, I must admit I wouldn't have designed it quite like this. Look, Jim, I don't want you to think I hold you responsible for my being here. In a way, it's almost a relief. Once I finish my sentence, I'll be able to start fresh.
Yes, I suppose it's for the best. It's just that, well, we were just starting to get to know each other, and well, I was hoping that...
I know. I wish things could have been different for us.
Well, maybe we can make them different. Maybe we can start again when all this is over.
Oh, I don't know, Jim. You know the law. We'll be barred from seeing each other even after I'm released.
Yes, we'll worry about that when the time comes, eh? Come on, I'll take you to the laundry. Introduce you to some of the women.